The Squirrel Picnic Table. I'm going to show you how to take this fence post and turn it into this. Step 1, get your board. That's a 1x6. Actual dimensions are about 3/4 by 5.5. Step 2, cut your pieces down to 11 inches. You should have 4 11-inch pieces, and then you'll end up with a little bit of scrap that's about 3.5 inches. Okay, so I've got my 1x6 by 4 foot long board, and I'm going to just start taking this and I'm going to cut it down at 11 inches. So I'm going to need 4 pieces at 11 inches. Step 3 is to cut those pieces down to size. So I should have a 11-inch board. This becomes the tabletop. 11-inch board cut in half becomes the benches. 11-inch board cut down becomes 2 supports and 1 table leg. The last 11-inch board becomes the table legs, 3 of the table legs, and those are 8 inches long at 22.5 degrees. Alright, so we've got our board cut down to 11 inches long, and then we rip it down to 1.5 inches wide. Easiest to do it on this table saw, that's where it's going to be the safest, but we're going to make these into our legs. So you're going to set your saw to 22.5 degrees, and then we're just going to chop off. I'm going to flip it over and make sure that my angle is the same way. So I'm going to cut this at 8 inches. And now I've got my table leg.
It's because it's supercharged, and my dad's going to help me build something for his mom and dad.
Yeah, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this scrap of wood and create a reinforcement here. Now it's not super important if it's perfect or not, so we're going to center it, and then we're just going to try to make sure that the edges are straight. So for this first one, I'll do it, and then I'll probably have you help me for the next one. I want to drill at a little bit of a down angle, but not too much.
So as you can see, there's a big hole that you have to make and drill in as far as you can.
Do you want to put that one in now? So, we keep moving them a little, but that's okay. Okay. We're going to put that one in.
See how it's stuck in? So you really have to make it a bit stuck so it doesn't break when it falls.
Exactly. Now we're going to do the next one.
But that's okay if it happens.
And maybe I'll do this one too, and then I'll have you help on the other side.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put these together, grab the screwdriver, and we're going to screw it in.
We're going to flip it around this way, because it's going to sit with this one.
Yes.
Okay? So
we're going to grab a screw, these kind of screws. And then we're going to screw right in. Might be a bit loud, but that's okay.
how's that? Okay, we need to do the same thing to the other side now. Now with this design, we actually have it set up so that this can be mounted to a 2x4. So what you want to do is have a 2x4 on hand, just so that you have the right dimensions, and your support is going to go this far down, because this bench, we want to make sure that it fits with the 2x4. So again, have a 2x4 on hand, use your bench piece, and then put your support here underneath. Then simply mark where it belongs, or where it needs to go, so that you know where it goes. Don't go too far. A little bit further. Perfect. Okay.
As you can see, we have our great picnic table, but we're not done yet. We still have a couple things we have to do, and then that's about it for our video. And if you liked it, just give my dad a thumbs up because he did his best on it.
Okay. So like she said, we have these benches for the squirrels. Now, if we want to keep those in line, you could certainly eyeball it. Another option, just to make sure that you've got it in the same spot, is to use your speed square. We happen to be drilling and screwing, so you could just as easily use glue and then brad nails.
We are done with the picnic table that we made for my grandpa and grandma, my dad's mom and dad. And make sure to give him a thumbs up if you liked it, because he did his best on this. He tried, like literally.
To put corn cobs on this, we could pound a nail in and then clip off the top. The other option, we could drive it in through the bottom. We could definitely just put a screw in through the bottom and have it come up so it would hold on to those corn cobs.
As you can see, I probably already showed you this, but we haven't showed you that it's outside on not our fence, but it's our neighbor's fence. Look how strong it is. It has to be that strong if you're a grown up or somebody. Just make sure it's this heavy, otherwise the squirrel will maybe fall off.
This little guy is
Gonna
sitting on the bench. You just banged your head against the window a little bit. This ends up being super simple because I'm taking my 1x6 and I'm just cutting it at 11 inches. If I cut 4 pieces at 11 inches, it allows me to get my pieces, and I end up having this little bit left over. It's going to be roughly about 3.5 inches. So this I'm going to use as a brace. I cut these down. I have my table legs. I have my 4th table leg, and then my supports, and then I've got my benches.